Okay, welcome to tonight's live grading session. All right, thanks for joining me. All right, let's go. So first up, we have Shohei Ohtani. This is the 2018 International Affair. Okay, so this card does not have any defined border, so I will be using the eye appeal standard. And this card passes for the front. And it passes for the back. This card is Gem Mint eligible. Okay, so let's get to grading. So, see, just at first glance, there might be a minor dimple down at the bottom, but let's start inspecting. Just a sec, sorry. Okay, so using my 10x magnifying glass, we'll start at the corners and run down through the edges. Okay, so this card, the corners from the front are sharp. I will, of course, re-inspect them on the back of the card as well. But that's the front of the card. The corners, as for now, are 4 sharp corners. Okay, so now I'll start to inspect the surface. There's one minor dimple in that one ring up here. We'll look at that together with the fixed magnifying glass after I finish the inspection. Another minor dimple within this hexagon. And that other minor dimple down bottom middle. Alright, so that's the first pass with the light on, second pass with the light off. Nothing new stood out, and now I have to check underneath my thumb. Light on, light off. Okay, looks good. Alright, so let's look at those minor dimples together. So let's see right here in the, let's say, 4th ring down from the top, 3rd ring down from the top, just above my thumb, there's one minor dimple. Okay. There's another minor dimple in the center here of this hexagon, this shape. Seems to be a popular sports card shape. Right in the middle. And the last one is another minor dimple at the bottom middle. Let's see how that one comes out. Might be the most clear. There we go. Visible right through that rainbow area. down, oh, sorry, there. Okay, so now let's inspect the back of this card. Okay, again, I will start by looking at the corners, running down through the edges. Sometimes something's more visible from the back side than the front, especially on the corners. And the corners still look good. Okay, now to inspect the back surface. Light on, light off. And underneath my thumb. Okay, clean. All right. Okay, so let's review this card. This card had 3 minor dimples on the front surface, and that was the only damage on this card. So because of that, this card grades as a Gem Mint 10. That's a 10. Hope you guys like that. That was a lot of fun. All right, so let's record. I'm going to record that and then move on to the next card. The next card up for the night, just a second. Pull it out. Is Spider-Man 2099. Okay. This is the Marvel Metal. This was 1995 Marvel Metal. Okay. So the design of this card does not have any defined border for the front or the back. So I will be using the eye appeal standard to determine centering. And this card passes for the front. And it passes for the back as well. Okay, so this card is also Gem Mint eligible. Let's get to grading. Okay, so first glance at the card. Nothing really stands out. Maybe it could be a minor chip up here. Let's see. Nope. It's a little dust stuck to it. Okay, let's get to inspecting. Okay, so again, I'll start on the corners, running down through the edges. Okay, the surface of this corners look a little bit off. Let me inspect closer. That one looks good. Not. Giving a good close look, the surface in this corner looks depressed, but this corner actually looks square. We'll double check that. We'll show you through the fixed magnifying glass. However, this one does have a minor flare. So let's check the rest of the edge. And the other corners are sharp. Okay, so let's look at those couple of issues. Couple of minor issues. So this corner, you can see, looks like it has maybe a little bit of surface wear, and as I turn the corner with it, you can see that this corner on this side does not have a thickness issue. It's consistent. Nothing stands out there. I think that comes through from this angle. Let's do this. Very consistent. Okay, however, this one, this bottom left corner, see how this translates. Just has the slightest flare. It's a minor flare. It's very minor. You can see it kicked down a little bit from that angle, I think. Okay, so that's a minor flare in the one corner. Okay, so now let's inspect the rest of the surface. A really nice surface in this card. Little bit of chips, a little surface irregularity here. Very minor. Okay. And once with the light on and once with the light off. Okay, so let's just look at here. This area with the fixed magnifying glass together. See, it's very minor, very minor chips. By themselves are maybe de minimis, but because of the grouping of them, the surface irregularity will definitely mention in the card profile. Okay. All right, so now let's inspect the back of this card. Okay, again, I will double check the corners to make sure that none of those other corners are in fact damaged. Nope, they look good. And from the back, that minor flare does seem to stand out a little more. I think I had this angle before, but just in case. It's a very minor flare. Just so you can see it kick down just a little bit. Okay, so now let's inspect the back surface. Okay. Light on, light off. Spider-Man 2099. Really cool suit. A lot of... I remember when the 2099 characters were released. Spider-Man has had some of the best costumes, I think. And double check underneath my thumb. Okay, appears clean. Okay, so let's review this card. Okay, so this card had some minor surface irregularity in the bottom left, and the bottom left is where the minor flare was. Because of that, this card grades as an 8. This card is near mint to mint. Okay, so let's record that and move on to the next card. Next card is another card that's kind of a lot of fun. This is a Mew. This is from the Pokemon 2021 Celebrations series. This is the full art Mew. Okay, so like nearly all Pokemon cards, there are some exceptions, of course, depending on how extensive the full art is, but this card has a very defined border for the front, and then of course it's a Pokemon card, so the back also has a defined border. So I will be measuring that. Okay, and my digital caliper. All right. So I'll start by measuring the left and right side. Just a second, let me pull up my sheet for the equation. Okay, 251. Okay. By 223. Centering or left to right. So now let's check top and bottom. Okay, we have 297, and that will be, that's a very narrow bottom. 297. By 232. Okay. So that is a 5644 centering. Okay. That is for the front. All right, now I'll measure for the back. Okay. 4. By 305. Okay, that is a 49-51 left-right centering for the back left-right. Okay. It's a 384. By 349. 248. Okay, so the centering on this card, the top and bottom puts this into our criteria to be a 9 mint. So this card is 9 mint eligible. Okay, so now let's get to grading. Okay, it's a really awesome card. Sorry about that. I don't know if I was playing right there. I had to type in. Hopefully. So let me rephrase that. Hopefully you guys are still watching. That was the left-right centering made this card a mint eligible. Okay. Let's get to grading. Okay, so this bottom right corner appears to be flared. We'll look at that together. Along with this bottom left corner, minor flare. Okay, so let's look at that closely. Okay, so this is the flare on the bottom right corner. See from the front, it is slightly visible damage there, and as it comes up, you can see it's a thickness issue. Okay, and then the same on this corner. Okay, so now let's inspect the rest of the surface. Okay, looks clean. Okay, and then underneath my finger, my thumb. Okay, all right. So the front of this card is very clean, flawless, other than the damage at the corners. Okay, so now let's inspect the back of this card. Again, let's re-inspect these corners. I know two of them have minor damage, but look at the rest. Oh yeah, from the back. Oh, that's the one. Definitely can see it from here as well. And run down the edges. Okay, now inspect the surface. Looks pretty clean. Light on and light off. And underneath my thumb. Okay, so let's review this card. So as I stated earlier, start off with the centering, left and right, top and bottom was off by enough to make this 9 mint eligible. But the two minor flares at the corner mean that this card, because of them, this card grades as a 7, near mint. It's an awesome card. Just two minor flares. Okay, so let's record that. And then I'll move on to the last card of the evening. Okay, we have a Joe Burrow. This is a Panini Mosaic blue, numbered 37 out of 99. Really awesome card. Okay, so let's start talking about centering. So this card does not have a defined border, so I will be using the eye appeal standard for the front at least, and the same for the back. So the front of this card passes eye appeal, and so does the back. This card is gem mint eligible. Okay, so let's get to grading. Another card with the hexagon design, mosaic. Alright, so I'll start with the corners and run down through the edges. Okay, so this card has four sharp corners, at least from the front, and I'll double check it from the back. Alright. So now looking at the card, let's inspect it. Okay, looks like in this mosaic pattern there is some irregularity here. It's pretty minor. We'll look at that together in a second. And another minor surface irregularity here on the left. Pretty minor, they don't stand out very much. But we'll look at that carefully together. Oh, and there's a minor scratch, dimple here on his leg. Okay, that's the first inspection with the light on. Now another one with the light off. See if anything else stands out. Okay, and then double checking under my thumb. That looks good. Okay, so the first of this very minor surface irregularity in the mosaic pattern here. Almost like some type of a minor defect, minor chip, but it's not, or dimple, but it's just in that one layer. Okay, and then over here as well, very similar in the blue. Okay, and then the last one is right on his leg. Another little dimple. That's probably the most visible through the camera for this moment. Okay, so now let's inspect the back. Okay, again I will start by looking at the corners, running down through the edges. And they're very nice. Still look clean from the back. Okay, so now the back surface. Okay, underneath my thumb. Alright, so here on the back there is one minor surface irregularity I see. Top middle. I'm going to look at that together. Right there. Just very minor. Okay, so let's review this card. This card had sharp corners, looked very nice. Just a few minor surface issues on the front and the back of this card. Because of that, this card grades as a 10, as a Gem Mint 10. Okay. All right, so let's record that, and thank you so much for joining me for tonight's live grade. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next